Hi guys, welcome to Grudy's Race and Resto Sunday Funday. Rightio, a bit of a recap for the week and a bit of a recap for next week. I'll start doing an episode every week on a Sunday. It's just easier. Sunday is probably a day where you're getting ready for the next week. If you feel like tuning in, by all means tune in. Probably between 8:30 and 9:30 most Sundays. Right, so we've got a fair bit more done. I wanted to touch on a subject after watching Mr. Mike from Stance Works. It's not a shit can, it's just I don't believe anyone should take his advice about the perfect car and building cars. I think everybody should take some inspiration from shops like his and vloggers like him. Good dude, knows his shit, great skill. So perfect for your inspiration for your car. Now, I'm going to give a bit of advice because this is what I do. This is part of my life, who I am. You don't want a perfect car. You want a nice car. You want a drivable car. You want something that will be multi-purpose. So you don't want just drag, just circuit, just street. If you're into drag racing, you want to go drag and street. Right? So use something. So I always try to talk people with street drag cars. I try to talk them into a 4-speed overdrive box. So okay, you want to go auto, so go 4L80E, which is like a turbo 400 with overdrive. Right, yeah, go turbo 700. If you're under 500 horsepower, you can build turbo 700 with overdrive to handle that power, not a problem. The idea is you want to be able to still drive it. You want to be able to drive it down the highway and enjoy it. You want to be able to go race it. You want to be able to do everything. So, listening to guys like Mike, there's a couple other guys that I watch as well that they believe in the perfect ride. The perfect ride is a myth. By the time you get that car to that point, you will not want to drive it anymore. It will be too clean. It will be too shiny. It will be too much of everything. And then there'll still be niggly little things. And it'll be something like one piece of the plush pole carpet has a bigger pole than the rest. It'll be stupid shit. So, my piece of advice is, don't build a perfect car. Every one of us that's building a car, and everyone that watches, and most of the people that watch know who I am, and personally, and if you don't, I've been playing with cars. I'm 45 this year. I've been playing with cars and building cars since I was 12 years old. I've been building motorbikes since I was 11 or 12 as well. So started out building stuff when I was a kid with my stepdad and his friends. And it was all out of necessity because they couldn't afford mechanics. So we built lots of bodgy shit. I learned a lot of shit along the way. So this is why it was good. Building perfect doesn't make you happy. It sucks your soul. I'm 7 years in my car. I've sold everything else off. My car is the ultimate take on my personality. It's all me. It's loud. It's obnoxious. It's going to be all me. And it'll be done this year. So my car, for those that don't know, it's an E30 M3 replica with a M88. Been collecting stuff for about 7 years and chipping away on work as I get a chance. Now the one behind me is Joe's 2.9 race car. We have got more done, but this week I've done a bunch of cleaning. So let's have a look. Right. So when I say your car shouldn't be perfect, it shouldn't be perfect. I'm not happy with that upper hose. It's got a little bit of a bow in it. The bow was on purpose as it's got a bit of movement, right? Lower hoses are done. Upper hose is done. I've angled the fitting on the radiator so it shoots more at this Leo Green Racing thermostat housing delete. Got 2 oil lines done today. I've still got to do them up. I've got to take the power steer pressure line off and put a restrictor in there. I've still got to pull rock cover off, so I've got to do some lead separators and stuff that all mount on top of the rock cover. got my dash 10 on the rock cover, so I've got to do some sort of housing, some sort of oil, like a catch can. Now, I don't think I can fit my linkage kit in between there and that plate. We'll see. But I've got all the linkage stuff to start doing that. This car's actually got to come off the hoist. We have work starting tomorrow. All right. I like this. The breather line come up really, really nice. It's all braid. It's all really nice. Into the little mini R53 tank. I think it's R53. All right. So, yeah, getting somewhere, taking time. It's not going to be perfect. But it'll be neat. And it will show what I'm capable of, which is what matters. I wouldn't suggest, if you have a budget, to buy AN fittings. We're using Raceworks. We're not using any Deere stuff. Raceworks is pretty good. It works. It does exactly what I want it to do. I like the Raceworks gear. But we're still over $2,000 in fittings and line and stuff like this. I wanted 60 degrees. They weren't perfect, but I've used them on the oil filter housing. There's 45 and 60 down here. They were $50 a piece. All right, so everything adds up. The 5/8 fuel line, we then had to go and buy a nice bender because the bender I had wouldn't do 5/8. So never ends. But yeah, this last week we've had the trike frame sitting here. So today I put that together to this point. I'll put some wheels on it, make that happen. We've got to get this done and gone within about 30 days. Rightio, cleaning. I've cleaned a big area. So I built a kitchen for Joe. We have a better kitchen than what we had. We'll do a little video on our unit that we built at some stage, but not at the moment. LS supercharged setup, triple carb M30. We now have a more usable engine room. Ridiculous amounts of shit. I had to actually go through and sort stuff, so we've got like oil filters and we've got suspension bits, and then we've got valves and bearings and rings and all sorts of shit. And then I've got like pistons and studs and cranks and more pistons, and so 347 kit for the truck, 2.2 M10, 2.2 M10 with a big Morosso sump, M20, S50, M88. There's always stuff to do. But it was all a matter of trying to organise some shit over Christmas. And this is something I just don't get time to do usually. So yeah. Now we've got bike on the bench, so we've got so many different things on the go. Now what we have done is I've pulled back from my 289 4-speed setup, and we went and looked at a bunch of cars. I went and looked at an XL Falcon and looked at an F truck and a few other things, and I was just going to buy another project like an idiot. So I have a gentleman that's actually interested in this, so we're going to start this little 289 with the extractors on the floor this week in the shed. That's going to be an exciting video. Right, this is how I know my old girl sits out here waiting. Alright, so I am qualified to tell you it's in the dark, yeah. Can't see much. Alright, it's one of this week's jobs. This is the M40 with the ITBs. That's got to be tuned, all leak fixed. The M3 sitting there waiting. I'm qualified to tell you, you don't need to make them perfect. I'm 7 years in my car, and this is the issue. 7 years in a car to try and make it perfect, and I'm at a point where perfection doesn't matter. Getting to enjoy it and to be able to put your personality into a vehicle that is all yours, being able to drive it and enjoy it every chance you get, that's more important than perfection, believe me. And yes, it looks very, very good, but it's still not perfect. There's little nicks right down there, little nick. It's going to tarnish. I have to take the bottoms off the Webers, and I have to put some countersunk bolts in there so it clears the distributor a little bit better. But yeah, top hose isn't right. It's always something to pick on. There you go, 10 minutes. Whoever made it this far, thank you very much for your time. If you think I've wasted 10 minutes of your life, oh, too bad. I can't give it back to you. All you can do is watch and hopefully learn something and maybe get some inspiration. Thanks for your time and effort. And yeah, this week we have a bunch of stuff to do. I've still got to clean up all this shit at some stage this year. This whole shelf's got to come down. So this is what we're in the middle of doing. Getting shit finished. Getting less in the workshop, selling more off. Well, hope you have a lovely day. And this week we'll bring you some trike content. I promise to start up a Ford V8 on the floor and I'll give it some revs. Yeah, good talk.